Hi there, fake internet friends. Empire Jeff here. I'm about 8 miles into my hike today in the Muskoka region of Ontario, and I was going to stop for some lunch and show you how my solo wood-burning camping stove works. Okay, so this is it. Just to give you some perspective, here's my giant dick beater. So it's not very big. Essentially, it's just a round firebox, and what it does is draws air in through these bottom holes and feeds it out through these interior holes. And the design is to create a downdraft of air into the firebox and a rising draft that gets heated within this double wall that will then burn the wood gases when it comes out. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so now we got our stove loaded up, and as you can see, you kind of build your fire in reverse with this design stove. What you do is you put your fuel on the bottom, then you put your kindling on top of that, and then finally your tinder goes on top. And what I'm using for tinder today is a cotton ball soaked in Vaseline. And essentially the Vaseline acts like the wax in a candle, and the cotton ball acts like a wick. And this will burn for a good 5 minutes, which is plenty of time for your kindling to catch on. And then you can start adding fuel as it burns down. And the only other thing I gotta do is light it, and then we'll put the fire ring on and we'll get to cooking. Okay, just got the cotton ball ignited with a ferroceramic rod and a pocket knife to strike it with. As you can see, that cotton ball burns pretty good, and the kindling's starting to catch on right now. So in about 2-3 minutes, I'll go ahead and add some more fuel to it. Then we'll get our pot on top. Oh, and before I forget, put the fire ring on there. That's what your pot sits on top of. These 3 little legs on the fire ring here. Okay, so what we got going on here is a little bit of Chef Boyardee. Alright, and you can see our flame it's rolling, man. Rolling. One thing about cooking with wood, you're going to get soot in your pot. Okay, you're just going to have to deal with it. There is no other way around it. If you're going to cook with wood, you're going to get a sooty pot. Stainless steel wool and some elbow grease, and it'll come right off with a little bit of dish soap. Alright, but that's also one of the, as I was saying, that's also one of the reasons why I use stainless steel cookware to begin with, because you can just scrub them down completely clean, and it doesn't have that aluminum Duracoat, whatever it is that a lot of outdoor pots use these days, that anodized aluminum finish. If you get soot on there and you scrub to take it off, you're going to take the finish off with it as well. Now this fire will burn unattended for about 7 minutes. Okay, it's a wood fire. You have to use fairly small, about finger length and finger width pieces of fuel, because that's all that will fit inside the firebox. Okay, so to keep this thing fed, you're going to end up adding one of these chunks of wood about every 2 minutes or so. Good rule of thumb is, if there's room for it in there, throw another piece in. And this is how you feed it. There's a little hole on the bottom here. As you can see, it's kind of starting to go out a little bit. Look how I risk injury for you, because I'm looking at the camera instead of my finger. Alright, it's chow time, baby. As you can see, our fire is still going pretty high, and when I'm done eating, I'll show you just how thoroughly this design consumes the fuel that you put inside there. There's going to be nothing left but like a little bit of ash. Okay, I've boiled water with this stove before, about, I say, half a liter's worth, 2 cups roughly, and to take it from ambient temperature water to a rolling boil takes about 7 minutes from when you strike the match, or when you first start the fire. So that's not too bad. All right, that son of a bitch go. You can see what I'm what I was talking about earlier about the jets, where it's burning the wood gases as well. I got about a foot of flame coming off this sucker. Super hot. A lot of fun to watch too. Alright, so it's been about 5 minutes since it was roaring, and you can see it's burned down to some glowing coals right about now. And there'll be even less than that left when I get done with it. Also, if I wanted to restart this fire, all I would have to do is throw some fuel in there and it would be up and roaring again in seconds. Alright, these coals are, these coals are still very hot, okay, with about, Jesus, that's my hand is about 18 inches over the stove, and that's about as much as I can tolerate before it gets too hot. So you can tell it still puts out a lot of heat, even if there's no visible flame coming out of there. I'm going to start to hurry things along here and help it out by dumping these ashes. I'm not going to let them burn down all the way because it's starting to rain, and I don't feel like sitting here getting pissed on just so you can see what ashes look like. So that's it for the solo stove. There's one other component here, optional. Is actually an alcohol burning stove insert that will sit right here in this firebox and take advantage of its downdraft capabilities to increase the heat that comes off of this alcohol stove. And I'll show you that next time.